there guys, gals, non-binary pals, GM Potter here, and today we are doing something just a little bit different. Today is my birthday. If you're watching this on the day it comes out, if you're not, well then it's not my birthday anymore. But today, as of the day this goes up, it is my birthday. I am 34 years old. I feel very old indeed. I'm filming this ahead of time because I've got some doctor's appointments on my birthday this year. But I thought it would be fun to go over writing and my writing process. I have published 3 books. They are linked down below. And I've also completed a third novel, 4th book. It's out with my beta readers now. They're going over it and reading it and hopefully enjoying it. This one's a lot darker than anything else I've written before. It goes to a lot of dark places. But yeah, let's get into it. So I participated in NaNoWriMo this year, which is the National Novel Writing Month. It's a challenge that goes out every year to write 50,000 words in 30 days, which is quite a lot. And this is the first year that I won. That's actually the story that is with my beta readers now. It's named Super. It's a superheroes story dealing with a lot of darker themes. But essentially the thought that I had when I started writing it, I always start out with a thought or a character is how my story ideas come to me. And it was basically the thought that what would you do if you knew your body would heal itself? If you had an unlimited healing factor, what would you do? What would stop you from doing something horrible? What would stop you from jumping off tall buildings if you knew you would survive it? So that was kind of my jumping off point, and it evolved from there. In the NaNoWriMo sphere, I am known as a plotter, meaning I go through and I plot. I meticulously make notes, I interview characters, I not necessarily script out, but I make outlines, and then I make more detailed outlines, and then I make once more detailed outline from that. And that's what I then turn into the actual work itself. You also have pantsers who write by the seat of their pants, that they just jump in, both feet go booga, and write everything down. And then you have plantsers who write a little bit of notes, but mostly jump in by the seat of their pants. They're usually about 50-50 plotting and pantsing. I'm definitely a plotter. I plan everything. I have my brain here. This is my brain. So, I like to plot things out. I like to plan things. I just get a rush from planning. So, this is my notebook that I used for Super. So it's got the plot points that I wanted to hit in it. It's got my character interviews. It's got all that laid out. And then I went from there, and I went one plot point at a time, and I wrote. And that was my 0 draft. So, not a lot of people are familiar with the concept of a 0 draft. They're like, how can it be a 0 draft? It's a first draft. I'm like, well, no. 0 draft is basically a big brain dump. And it's roughly in the order I want it to be in, but it's essentially a brain dump where I don't go back and take things out. I don't use the backspace button except for correcting spelling errors in the moment. I just write, and that's my 0 draft. And then I go back and I make a first draft where I put in details and I revise it a little bit as I'm going and make something that's actually readable to someone who's not me. And then I like to do a second draft, which is where I take each section or chapter and I start at the back. And I start with in this case I started with the epilogue, and I reread the epilogue, and I read it as its own contained section, and I revised that. And then I did the last chapter, and then the penultimate chapter, and so on and so forth, up until I got back to the beginning again. And that was my second draft. And then the third draft, I went through and I went back and I went through everything. And after that, I'm like, okay, I think I've got everything I want to say. I'm not sure, though. I can't find anything that I want to add to the story. So I'm going to send it out to other people and ask them where they need clarification, where they need me to expand, where I need to be showing instead of telling, all that there good stuff. So right now I'm working on an old manuscript that I kind of abandoned. I got through the first draft of this one, and then I just kind of abandoned it because I'm like, I don't like it. It's not very good. I'm going back and I'm reading it, and I'm like, this is actually pretty good. It just needs a lot of work. So I'm treating what was a first draft as a zero draft. I'm going through and breaking up chapters because the first chapter that I wrote in this draft should have been 3 chapters. So I broke that up into 3 chapters, and I'm going through bit by bit and revising and revising and revising and revising and expanding and expanding and expanding. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but I'm enjoying it. I hope to have that one ready for beta readers sometime in the spring, when the other one gets ready for publishing. So yeah, I like to keep busy with my writing. Do y'all write? I hope this was interesting for y'all. Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!